The following was recorded yesterday after I'd had my assessment, and I don't really want to dwell on it. It was what it was, and it just had to be done and to be got through. But thank you to everybody for their messages of support and your kind words. They are really appreciated, but I'm not going to dwell on that anymore. I'm just going to crack on with everything else. Now, the vlog that I posted earlier on today, which will be yesterday by the time you see this, was a bit of a rant, and I've had my appointment and my assessment, and now I'm just trying to do stuff to put that to the back of my mind and crack on with things. But the wind has done some damage in the garden. I'm going to take you out there and show you what's happened, and I'm going to try and talk to you, but chances are it's too windy to hear me, so I will put subtitles on the footage so that you can tell what it is that I'm trying to say, but you'll see what's been going on. So the wind has officially been around 22 miles an hour today, but not by my windometer. My windometer says it's been more like up to about 45 at times. So I guess it's a steady 22 with gusts up to 45. I love that word, gusts. It doesn't really describe the getting knocked sideways thing that happens, but anyway, what has got knocked sideways are my borlotti beans. So this is one side of them, and they've got their lean, and they've had a lean for a few days, and I had already put extra supports in. But the other side, oh dear, that's it. On the other side, well, they're on the floor, and that's two canes, and they've actually snapped at ground level, so I'm never going to be able to put them back in again. And that next one, well, that was on the floor, and I've managed to stand it up, propping it against the beans next to it, and I'm at a loss now. Every time I lift this pile up, it's so strong, it's like holding onto a sail on a windy day, and I'm just getting blown around, and it's just getting blown straight over. And at the moment the roots are still intact, so I don't want to damage those. And I've got to think of a way of constructing something that will support this. So what I've done is I've put in a triangle of hazel poles here, but they're not sturdy enough. As the wind is blowing, it's moving them around, and I had put in a new cane there to try and attach the fallen ones to, but I think I'm going to have to ask Mr. J to bang some posts into the ground and build a really sturdy, solid structure. So for the meantime, my beloved borlottis, that's not easy to say, my beloved borlottis are on the floor, and that's, I hate to say it, that's probably almost a quarter of our harvest is what we say man down, but okay, so it's plant down, but it's, I feel really really frustrated because I don't really know what to do, and if I could think straighter, I would probably just go, oh yes, that's the answer. You see, at this end I put in the extra supports there because they were already starting to lean at a jaunty angle, but these end ones, well, it's really hard to put a support in because they're not now attached into the ground. So time for a rethink. And the pole beans, the runner beans, well, they've had a similar fate, but as yet they haven't hit the floor because it seems like the structures that I put in to try and support them have done the trick. I don't want to speak too soon, but what's happened around this side is that it's all collapsed in together like that. Well, that's okay, they're still upright and they're still supporting each other, and I'm going to leave it at that for the moment, and I might try fix something up there. Oh, I don't know, I can't do anything else in the wind. For the Greek gigantes beans, which have got a very jaunty lean on them, I've put in some guy ropes at about 2.5 feet high, going down into the ground, just with tent peg type affairs. Hopefully that will just give it enough strength for that not to collapse before we can do anything more permanent. And you know, it makes me think about the design of the garden and what we need to do to make it more windproof in years to come. So I'm going to turn around in a minute because I've got my back to the wind. I have a microphone here because I don't have anything fancy. This is just my phone that I'm recording on, and so I'm going to turn around in a minute, and you'll be able to hear the wind as it comes through. And of course, as soon as I say that, the wind drops down a bit. Actually, I wouldn't have been out here if it had been at its blowiest, but so here goes. I'm going to turn around, so I'm sorry about the noise. So here I am, out of the shelter of the fruit trees, and it's a bit blowier here, and still nowhere near as blowy as it was earlier on. And it's August, and it's almost like we've got the Mistral wind. I'm not sure if it's a year for a Mistral. I ought to have a look online and see if it is. Okay, and the Mistral wind, if you don't know, is a very strong wind that blows across the southwest of France. Have I got that right? No, the southeast of France, on a, I don't know, 2 or 3 year basis. Could be every year. I seem to think it's not every year, and it's something to do with the movement of the earth and the planets and all of those things. Right, now it does look like all the chicken runs are intact, which is good news. And the poor little fatties at the end field, well, their house didn't get blown over, but their wind shelter did, so that was a wind shelter fail. But I've put that back up with some sturdier supports on it, and so the fatties have got a chance to get out of the wind. The fatties are the collective name that we use for our Roscob meat birds, and I guess the closest thing in America would be something like a Cornish cross. And they're fast-growing meat birds, and we got them when they were 5 weeks old, and they're now 7.5 weeks old. And tomorrow, so by the time you've watched this, tomorrow I will have dispatched the first fatty, because they're not fatty at all. They're muscular, but saying musclies are not as nice as saying fatties. So I will have dispatched the first one, and I'm also going to dispatch one of the boys in the mixed flock, because we've got some friends coming at the weekend. One of the things that I really like about working on this homestead is, well, not that I have to keep sitting down, but I do have to keep sitting down, and often, very often, when I have to sit down, I get joined. And this time I've been joined by Monty. Hello, sweetie. So he's plonked himself very neatly on my lap, and I guess I'm not going anywhere for a little while, so I'm going to sit out here in the windy weather and hope it doesn't rain, and I'm going to watch the chickens over there, and I'm going to scratch my cat. Oh, yes, you're a very lovely boy, aren't you? Yes, you are. And I'm going to think about ways to resolve the... Thank you, Elvis. I'm going to think about ways to resolve the broken Belotti beans and the the broken beloved Belotti beans. and then I'm going to head in and get some supper. So, oh, they're all at it now. So, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've been up to today, I hope that you have come up with a solution to your problems. And I also hope that you can join me again tomorrow.